Today, on The Power of Framing, we'll kickstart the week with a short story to frame a new virtue and gain a renewed focus. Are you ready? Let's step into the vault.
Welcome to Monday. As we frame problem solving this week, I'd like to ask you this question and give you a pregnant pause to really let it sink in. What do you do when your situation is unprecedented, expectations are unmet, and your problem is bigger than yourself? Let me share a quick story about my brilliant oldest daughter, her stumped dad, and the words of my dad that helped bring some clarity amidst confusion and through what didn't seem like a problem at first, but actually was pretty difficult. And I did receive permission from my daughter to share this. She asked not to share the story with me. She said, "Dad, you can share it." So thanks, Aria, for the permission. And hopefully you can learn something from both of us through this. So near the end of the school year, just before summer break, Aria brought home a math problem. And for me, let's use that word problem loosely, because it wasn't a problem to me. It's something I had seen before. But for her, it was a problem. So I guess the way you frame problems, the way you define problems, that's a whole nother can of worms that we can open in another topic with my friend Maida. So stay tuned for that one. But problem solving, assuming you've framed your problem correctly, is what we're dealing with. And it was a division problem for Aria. Basic on paper, but it completely shut her down. She froze, she got frustrated, and eventually she just started crying. For her, the math problem was the problem. But for me, it was something else entirely. I wasn't disappointed in her performance. I was disoriented by the moment. I've always been her go-to homework buddy. But this time, I realized she hadn't been given the fundamentals that she needed to understand the actual equation. I hadn't realized she was missing them until she fell apart in front of me. Her confusion, her frustration, her breaking down into tears caught me off guard. And it hit me pretty hard. Suddenly, I wasn't just helping with a long division. I was facing what I realized to be something different, something bigger. She had turned to me for help. And as her dad, I realized I didn't exactly know where to turn myself. We were both, in our own ways, walking examples of what's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. We were unskilled, unaware of it, and additionally, we were both just a little bit overwhelmed with the situation, with our respective problems. So, as a father, in that moment, my dad's old saying came back to my mind. He used to say, if someone isn't a part of the solution, don't make them part of your problem. He used to tell me that this applied to all of life's problems. And he always tied it back into people. And I think that's really important. So when I was younger, it used to sound like a warning. But the older I've gotten, and now as a dad, I hear it as a call to slow down, to show up, and then to invest in a diverse span of lifelines, which are really just people that I can rely on in moments that matter the most to me, through the problems that seem the hardest. So what did I do with my daughter? Well, the one person in life I trust the most, who was my dad, who also was a girl dad, he hasn't been an option for the past 15 plus years. So I removed both of us physically from the situation. Literally, I took us out of the kitchen, outside, gave us some breathing space so that we could just play outside and take our minds off of the matter at hand, because it wasn't an immediate solve it now type of deal. And then I talked to my wife. I asked for her input. And sure, I could have called a lot of smart people for Aria's sake. I didn't really let it branch outside of our immediate family. And the lifeline needed to stay our immediate circle for that moment. So Laura and I talked about it, discussed it, prayed about it. And then the next day we reached out to her teacher and shared the circumstance, shared the situation surrounding Aria's math problem. And in the end, through some time and some patience, Aria gained confidence and some of the requisite skills, though it is still honestly a work in progress. And I share all of this to bring the focus back to the connective tissue of problems that actually gets us through those very problems. And it's people. So, what problems are you facing? What about the ones you can't even imagine yet? What about your own Dunning-Kruger moments where you're unskilled, you're unaware of it, you don't even know what you don't know, and you have no reference point in your life for how to solve that. How are you empowering culture, engaging curiosity, and energizing creativity to press through your most challenging problems? I'll end us back at the start. What do you do when your situation is unprecedented, expectations are unmet, and your problem is bigger than yourself? Miles Kerr and I can't wait to take the vault off the hinges on Friday and explore this really important topic with you. I'll see you on Wednesday.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of The Power of Framing. Follow Foundational Coaching on your favorite social media platform, where I'll meet you on Wednesday and you can ask me anything you want. I'm honored to be a part of your story today, and I'm proud of your growth, my friend. I can't wait for our next time together, exploring the vault.